We tell stories of human way, not with artificial voices or AI slop. In the end, what's HFI without humanity? Subscribe to keep it this way. My name is Amir Sohal. Let's begin. The desperate call. The galaxy was quiet, too quiet. Far away from the busy star routes, there was a small human colony. It was called Haven-7. It was not a military base. It was not a rich city. It was a retirement colony. A peaceful place where old humans came to rest after long and difficult lives. The people there were old. Their hair was gray. Their steps were slow. Their days were simple. They spent time watching sunsets, growing plants, and remembering the past. To the rest of the galaxy, they were nothing important, and that was a mistake. One cold cycle without warning, the sky above Haven-7 changed. At first, it was just a shadow. Then it grew larger. A massive alien warship appeared in orbit, dark, silent, watching. No message, no warning. Inside the colony, the alarm systems suddenly turned on. Loud sirens broke the peaceful silence. People looked up at the sky, confused and afraid. "What is happening?" one old man asked. No one had an answer. Then the first strike came. A beam of light shot down from the warship. Boom! The ground shook. Buildings broke. Fire spread across the colony. People screamed. Dust filled the air. The calm world turned into chaos in seconds. Another strike followed. And another. The alien ship was not here to talk. It was here to destroy. Inside a small control room, an old woman rushed to a communication panel. Her hands were shaking, but her eyes were sharp. Her name was Alara. She pressed buttons quickly, trying to send a signal. No, come on," she whispered. The system was damaged. Static filled the screen. Outside, explosions continued. The colony was falling apart. Alara took a deep breath. She forced herself to stay calm. "Focus," she said quietly. She adjusted the signal manually. It was an old method. Slow, difficult, but it could still work. Finally, a weak connection appeared. She didn't know who would hear it. She didn't know if anyone would answer, but she had to try. She activated the broadcast. Across the galaxy, signals travel through space like whispers in the dark. Most are ignored. Some are lost forever. But this one carried something different. Fear, pain, and something else, something hidden. Back on Haven-7, the attack continued. The alien ship sent drones now. Small, fast machines scanning the ground, looking for survivors, looking for any sign of life. Inside a broken building, a group of old humans hid in silence. They were breathing slowly, trying not to make a sound. One of them, an old man with a deep scar across his face, looked at the others. "Stay calm," he said. His voice was low, controlled. Not the voice of a helpless old man. The voice of someone who had seen war before. Back in the control room, Alara began to speak into the transmitter. Her voice was weak at first. Then it became steady. "This is Haven-7, she said. Static cut through her words. She adjusted the signal again. "This is an emergency. We are under attack. Unknown alien forces." Another explosion shook the building. Part of the ceiling fell behind her. She didn't stop. "We are a civilian colony. Retirees, we have no active military." She paused for a second. Her eyes changed. Something deeper appeared in them. "But we will not survive long." She looked at the burning horizon through the broken wall. Then she continued. "If anyone can hear this, we need help." The signal flickered. Almost gone. Then she said one last line. A line that did not sound like fear. It sounded like a warning. "You don't understand what you started." The message shot into space. Weak, broken, but alive. On the alien warship, the commanders watched the destruction. Cold, silent. "This colony is insignificant," one of them said. "No resistance detected. Continue until complete." They believed the mission was simple. Destroy. Leave. Forget. Back on the ground. The story was different. The old man with the scar slowly stood up. His body was not fast anymore, but his movements were careful, controlled. He walked to a broken wall and looked outside. Fire, smoke, drones flying above. He watched them carefully, studying their pattern, learning. Behind him, another old woman spoke. "What do we do?" The man did not answer immediately. Then he said one word. "Wait." In another part of the colony, an old engineer crawled through debris. He reached a hidden panel under the ground. His hands were dirty. His breathing was heavy. He opened the panel. Inside, old systems, not used for years, maybe decades. He smiled slightly. "Still working. I hope," he whispered. Back in space, the desperate call continued its journey. Through stars, through darkness, through silence, waiting for someone to listen. Inside the control room, Elara was still there. The system was almost dead now. Smoke filled the air. She coughed but kept working. She tried to boost the signal one more time. Suddenly, a response signal blinked. Weak, very weak. Her eyes widened. "Someone heard us," she whispered. She leaned closer. The signal was unclear. Broken words came through. Signal, received, then static again. But it was enough. They were not alone. Outside, the drones moved closer to the hidden survivors. Scanning, searching. One drone stopped near the broken building. It detected movement. Inside, the old man with the scar closed his eyes for a moment. Then he opened them. Calm, cold. "Get ready," he said. The others looked at him, confused. "Ready for what?" someone asked. He turned slightly. And for a second, he did not look like a retiree. He looked like something else. Something dangerous. "For them," he said. The drone moved in. Closer, closer. Then, a sudden noise. A trap activated. The drone exploded in a flash of light. The survivors did not cheer. They did not panic. They stayed quiet, watching, waiting. Far above, the alien commanders noticed the loss of the drone. What happened? Unknown interference. Send more units. They still believed it was nothing, just a small problem, a small delay. Back on the ground, the old man looked at the others. "This is just the beginning," he said. In the control room, Elara whispered into the fading signal. "We are still here." Her voice was softer now, but stronger in meaning. "And we are not done." The colony burned. The sky was dark. The enemy was strong. But something had changed. The hunters were no longer safe. And somewhere in the galaxy, someone was listening. To be continued. The quiet war begins. The fire on Haven-7 did not stop. Smoke covered the sky. Broken buildings stood like ghosts. The ground was full of ash and silence, but not the silence of peace. It was a silence before something dangerous. High above, the alien warship still floated like a dark shadow. Its light scanned the surface again and again. They were searching. They were not expecting a fight, but they were about to find one. Inside the broken colony, the survivors were no longer running. They were preparing. The old man with the scar stood in the center of a ruined hall. Around him, a small group of retirees waited. Some were weak, some were injured, but all of them were watching him, listening. He looked at each of them carefully. "We don't have much time," he said. His voice was calm, not loud, but strong. "They think we are helpless. They think we are finished." He paused. A faint smile appeared on his face. "Let them think that." In another part of the colony, the old engineer finally brought the hidden system online. The ground under him shook slightly as power moved through cables that had been silent for years. Lights flickered. Old defense panels turned on. Screens showed maps of the colony. He wiped dust from one of them and looked closely. "Come on, wake up," he whispered. One by one, small defense turrets hidden around the colonies started to move. Slow, old, but alive. Back in the control room, Elara received another weak signal. It was still broken, but clearer than before. "Identify situation." She leaned closer to the transmitter. "This is Haven-7, she said quickly. "We are under heavy attack. Civilian colony. We need immediate help." The signal paused. Then a new voice came through. "Cold. Careful. No active military registered in your location." Elara closed her eyes for a moment. That is correct, she said. Then she opened them again. But you should update your records. Outside, the alien drones returned. This time, more of them. They moved in groups, scanning every corner, looking deeper, looking harder. One drone stopped near a collapsed tower. It scanned heat signals. It detected movement. It moved closer. Closer. Inside the tower, the old man with the scar raised his hand slowly. The others behind him stayed still. No one spoke. No one moved. The drone entered the broken hallway. Its red light moved across the walls. Searching. Scanning. Then, a soft click. The floor under the drone shifted. A hidden trap opened. The drone dropped inside. Boom. A silent explosion. Dust filled the air. The trap closed again. No sound remained. The old man lowered his hand. Good, he said quietly. No celebration. No smiles. Only focus. High above, the alien commanders noticed a loss again. Multiple units lost. Cause unknown. Possible environmental hazard. They paused. Then one of them spoke again. Sent a ground unit. Moments later, a transport ship left a warship. It moved down toward Haven-7. This time it was not drones. It was soldiers. Back in the colony, the engineer saw the new signal on his screen. Ground troops incoming, he said over the old communication line. The message reached the others. The old man with the scar nodded slowly. Good, he said again. One of the others looked at him in surprise. Good? They are sending soldiers. The old man looked at him. Yes, he said. Now the real fight begins. The transport ship landed hard on the surface. Dust rose around it. The doors opened. Alien soldiers stepped out. Tall, armored, armed with advanced weapons. They moved in perfect formation. Scanning. Alert. This was not a simple mission anymore. Inside the ruins, the retirees moved into position. Each one had a role. Each one had a task. They were not random survivors. They were something else. Something hidden. An old woman with white hair checked an old rifle. Her hands were steady. Her eyes were sharp. Still works, she said softly. Beside her, another man adjusted a small device. Let's hope they don't, he replied. The alien soldiers moved deeper into the colony. They passed broken homes, burned gardens, empty streets. Everything looked dead. Everything looked quiet. Too quiet. Then, a shot. One soldier dropped. The others reacted instantly. They took cover, scanning for the source. Another shot. Another soldier fell. Panic started to grow. Enemy contact confirmed. One of them said, but location unknown. Hidden above them, the old woman with the rifle moved slightly. Calm. Precise. She fired again. Another perfect shot. Then she disappeared into the shadows. On the ground, the alien soldiers were confused. They could not see the enemy. They could not predict the attacks. Their technology was strong. But it was not enough. Inside a nearby building, the old man with the scar watched everything. He listened to the sounds, the shots, the movement, the fear. They are losing control, he said. The fight spread across the colony. Small attacks, quick strikes, then silence. Again and again, the aliens were strong in open battle. But this was not open battle. This was something else. This was a quiet war. Back in space, the alien commanders were no longer calm. Ground unit is under attack. Enemy strength unknown. How is this possible? No one had an answer. Inside the control room, Ilera heard everything through the broken systems. She closed her eyes for a moment. They finally see, she whispered. Suddenly, a loud sound echoed across the colony. The hidden defense system activated fully. Turrets rose from the ground. Old but powerful. They locked onto targets and fired. The alien soldiers were caught in the open. Explosions hit around them. Their formation broke. Their control failed. Back in the ruins, the retirees moved together now. Not hiding. Not waiting. Advancing. The old man with the scar walked forward slowly. Fire behind him. Smoke around him. His eyes were cold. Focused. One alien soldier saw him and raised a weapon. Before he could fire, a trap activated. The ground exploded under him, gone in seconds. The old man did not stop walking. "They came to destroy us," he said quietly. "But they don't know who we are." In the distance, a loud engine sound filled the air. Everyone looked up. Another ship, bigger, stronger. The alien mothership was preparing something. Something worse. Back in space, a final command was given. Prepare orbital strike. And this now. Inside the colony, the signal reached the survivors. Orbital strike. Total destruction. No escape. The old engineer looked at his screen. "We can't stop that," he said. The old man with the scar looked at the sky. For a moment, he was silent. Then he spoke. "Maybe not from here." Everyone looked at him. "What do you mean?" someone asked. He turned slowly and pointed toward a hidden hangar, half buried under debris. "There is one thing left," he said. Inside the hangar, covered in dust and time, an old spacecraft waited. Silent, forgotten. A retired pilot stepped forward. His hands trembled slightly. "I haven't flown in years," he said. The old man looked at him. "You only need to fly once more." The pilot looked at the ship, then at the sky, then back at the others. Slowly, he nodded. Above them, the alien warship began to glow. Energy built up, ready to fire, ready to end everything. Inside the hangar, the old ship powered on. Lights flickered. Engines woke up. After many years, it was alive again. The pilot sat in the seat. His hands rested on the controls. For a moment, he closed his eyes, remembering. Then he opened them. Focused. The old man with the scar stepped back. "This is our chance," he said. Outside, the sky grew brighter. The orbital strike was seconds away. The ship lifted slowly, then faster. Then it shot into the sky. Inside the cockpit, the pilot whispered one line. "Let's finish this." The ship flew straight toward the alien warship. No fear, no hesitation. Back in the colony, everyone watched in silence. Fire around them, hope above them. And just before the sky exploded, the screen fades. To be continued, the last flight. The sky above Haven-7 was burning. A bright light spread across the clouds as the alien warship prepared its final strike. The air itself felt heavy, like the whole world was holding its breath. On the ground, the colony stood broken. Fire moved through empty streets. Smoke covered the ruins. But the people were still watching the sky, waiting, hoping, fearing. Inside the old spacecraft, the retired pilot sat still for a moment. His name was Arlen. His hands rested on the controls, but they were not shaking anymore. They were steady, like they remembered everything. Old memories came back to him. Battles, missions, close calls, friends he had lost long ago. He took a slow breath. "I thought I left this life," he said softly. The engine hummed under him. Alive, ready, back in the colony. The old man with the scar watched the ship rise. His eyes followed it until it became a small light in the sky. "Don't miss," he whispered. Above the planet, the alien warship detected the incoming craft. A small vessel approaching. Identify. No match found in database. The commanders watched it carefully. "It is irrelevant," one of them said. "Continue orbital strike." The massive weapon on the warship charged faster. Energy gathered into one single point. Bright, deadly, final. Inside the small ship, warning signals flashed. Arlen saw the energy building on the alien warship. "They are going to fire," he said. He pushed the controls forward. The ship moved faster. Old engines screamed, but they did not fail. Back on Haven-7, Ilera listened to the signals. Her face was pale, but her eyes were strong. "He won't make it in time," someone whispered behind her. Ilera did not answer. She kept watching. In space, the distance between the two ships closed. The small human craft against the giant war machine. It looked impossible. It looked hopeless. But it kept going. The alien commanders noticed something strange. The vessel is not slowing down. It is on a direct path. A pause. Then Is it attacking? Inside the cockpit, Arlen smiled slightly. Not attacking, he said quietly. Ending. He switched off all safety systems. Warning alarms filled the ship, but he ignored them. He only focused on one thing. The target. Below. The colony waited. Seconds felt like hours. No one spoke. No one moved. Back in space, the alien warship prepared to fire. Orbital strike ready. Fire on command. At the same time, the small ship came closer. Closer. Too close. Stop it. One alien commander ordered, destroy that vessel. Defense guns turned toward Arlen's ship. They fired. Laser shots filled space. Bright lines of death. Arlen moved the ship with sharp control. Left, right, up, down. The old pilot was not gone. He was back. Still remember, he whispered. Shots passed close to the ship. One hit the side. The ship shook. Alarm screamed louder. But Arlen did not stop. On the warship, tension grew. It is still coming. Why is it still coming? Inside the colony, the old man with the scar clenched his fists. Just a little more, he said. Arlen saw the main weapon of the alien warship. Bright, charging, almost ready. If it fired, Haven-7 would be gone. Everything would be gone. He made a choice. No hesitation. No fear. He locked the ship's path. Straight toward the core of the alien weapon. Target locked, he said quietly. Back in the control room, Alara suddenly understood. Her eyes widened. No, she whispered. She reached for the transmitter. Arlen, don't. But the signal cut. In space, the alien commanders saw it too late. It's a collision course. Stop it. They tried to fire again. Too late. Arlen closed his eyes for 1 second, then opened them again. Calm. Peaceful. For Haven-7, he said. The small ship crashed into the alien warship. A blinding flash of light filled space. Then, silence. For one moment, everything stopped. No sound. No movement. Only light. Then the explosion came. Massive. Violent. The alien warship shook. Its main weapon broke apart. Energy burst in every direction. On Haven-7, the sky lit up like a second sun. The people covered their eyes. The ground shook again. When the light faded, the alien warship was still there, but it was damaged, badly damaged. Inside the warship, systems failed. Lights went out. Alarm screamed. Main weapon destroyed. Power systems failing. Control lost. The commanders could not believe it. A single ship did this? Back on Haven-7, silence returned. But it was different now. Not fear. Something else. Hope. Alara slowly lowered her head. She closed her eyes. He did it, she said softly. The old man with the scar looked at the sky again. His face showed no smile, only respect. He gave us a chance, he said. But the fight was not over. Above them, the damaged warship still floated. Broken, but alive. Inside it, the alien commanders made a final decision. Prepare secondary strike. We end this now. Even damaged, the warship still had weapons. Smaller, but enough. Back in the colony, the engineer checked the systems. They can still attack, he said. The survivors looked at each other. Tired, injured, but not broken. The old man with the scar stepped forward. Then we finish it, he said. This time they would not wait. Across the colony, the retirees moved again. But now they were different. Faster, stronger, more focused. They were no longer defending. They were hunting. Hidden weapons activated. Remaining turrets locked targets. Communication lines opened. The colony was fighting back. Fully. Inside the alien warship, chaos spread. Surface resistance increasing. How are they still fighting? No one had the answer. On the ground, the old woman with the rifle took position again. She aimed at the sky, at a weak point in the damaged warship. Let's see how strong you are now, she said. She fired. Other weapons followed. Missiles, energy blasts, everything they had. The sky filled with light again. Inside the warship, more systems failed. Damage critical. We cannot hold position. The massive ship began to fall. Slowly at first, then faster. On Haven-7, everyone watched. The enemy was falling. The old man with the scar took a deep breath. "It's ending," someone said. He shook his head. "No," he replied. "It's just beginning." Above them, the burning warship moved closer to planet, out of control. If it crashed, everything would still be destroyed. The danger was not over. And as the massive ship fell from the sky, the screen fades. To be continued, the final stand. The sky above Haven-7 was dark with smoke and fire. The alien warship, broken but still alive, tumbled toward the planet. Its energy core sparked violently, threatening to destroy everything below. Every heartbeat in the colony was loud. Every breath felt heavy. Fear and hope fought together in the hearts of the survivors. The old man with the scar, his name was Kale, stood in the center of the ruined plaza. Around him, the retirees moved with purpose. They were tired, injured, but far from defeated. His eyes scanned the horizon. The alien warship was coming closer, unstoppable in appearance. Kale clenched his fists. "It's now or never," he said quietly. "We either fight or we die as we always feared." Delara, in the control room, looked at the screens. Smoke and sparks danced across the displays. "We can still do this," she said firmly. "But we must act as one." In the hidden hangar, Arlen, the retired pilot, prepared another old ship. His hands were steady now, though his body ached from years of neglect. This craft was not designed for combat, yet it carried something far stronger than any weapon. Human ingenuity. He turned to Kale, who had followed him. "I can't fly it straight into the warship again. It might destroy me this time." Kale shook his head. "No, Arlen, not this time. We have something better. Use what we have, not just what they fear." Meanwhile, across the colony, the retirees armed themselves with every weapon left from the old defense systems. Laser turrets flickered on. Energy grids hummed to life. Old rifles, long considered useless, were tuned and ready. Every corner of the colony became a battlefield of traps, ambushes, and ingenuity. A small group moved silently through a burned-out street, carrying explosives made from scavenged parts. Their age betrayed them in form, but not in skill. Every step was calculated, every breath measured. They had survived a lifetime of wars. This was just another. High above, the alien warship's final energy weapon glowed. Its destructive beam would annihilate Haven-7 in seconds. Drones hovered in the sky, scanning for any remaining humans. The alien commanders were frustrated. Why is there still resistance? They should be dead. Kale's eyes narrowed. "Because we are human," he muttered under his breath. Inside the colony, Delara coordinated the final plan. Communications crackled between the scattered units. Every retiree moved according to her instructions. It was no longer defense. It was strategy. The colony itself became a single, breathing organism. "Target the engines first," she instructed. "Then the weapons. Don't waste shots." Precision. Arlen's ship lifted into the sky. Though small, it carried a unique payload, a modified energy core that could overload the alien ship if it reached the correct point. He flew low, weaving between debris and fire. His old reflexes returned, faster than any younger pilots. One of the younger humans had suggested, "Are you sure you can do this?" Arlen smiled grimly. "I don't need to be fast. I just need to survive long enough to plant the charge. Everything else is up to them." The alien drones spotted the ship. They fired relentlessly. Beams cut through the sky. Arlen dodged with near impossible precision. The older humans on the ground watched, holding their breath, as if time itself had slowed. Inside the warship, chaos erupted. Systems were failing. The alien soldiers ran in panic. One drone after another was destroyed by the traps laid by the retirees below. They had anticipated every move. Every attack from above was met with cunning retaliation. A hidden turret fired automatically. Alien drones exploded midair. Smoke filled the corridors. The commanders shouted in frustration. Why are they still alive? This is impossible. Kale, watching from the plaza, simply smiled. They didn't understand humans, he said. They never do. The modified energy core in Arlen's ship hummed. It was now or never. He dove straight toward the alien ship, weaving through the chaos of energy blasts and collapsing debris. Seconds stretched into eternities. The charge was placed near the core. Arlen activated it. Lights flashed across his cockpit. A surge of energy rippled through the alien warship. Systems overloaded. Alarms screamed louder than ever. The alien ship trembled. Back on the ground, Kale raised his hands. Now! Every turret fired. Every explosive detonated. Every trap activated. The colony had become a weapon of living humans and old technology combined. The alien warship, massive and powerful, began to collapse from internal attacks. Engines failed. The final weapon was offline. Drones fell like rain. The sky above Haven-7 was filled with fire and smoke. It was chaos, yet it was order. Humans were reclaiming their home. Arlen's ship was caught in the shockwave from the core overload. His controls spun wildly. The ground rushed up beneath him. For a moment, he thought he would not survive. Then a calm descended. He maneuvered with instinct. His ship crashed safely near the control room. He stepped out, shaking, covered in soot but alive. Kale met him halfway. "You did it," he said. Arlen shook his head. "No, we did it. All of us." From the ruined towers, other retirees emerged. They had fought hidden and struck back with skill unmatched. They were battered, burned, and tired, but they were victorious. One young volunteer whispered, "How? How did they do it?" Kale smiled. "Experience, intelligence, and something they never had, heart." The alien warship, now fully disabled, crashed into nearby mountains outside the colony. Explosions echoed for miles. Smoke filled the sky. Dust settled slowly over the ruins. It was over, or so it seemed. Inside the warship, a few surviving alien commanders managed to escape in pods. Their eyes glowed with fury and disbelief. "They survived," one whispered. "They fought back and won." Kale and the others watched from the plaza. The humans were battered, but proud. They were still alive. They had survived what no one thought possible. Delara, standing next to Kale, exhaled deeply. "We did it," she said softly. "We really did it." Kale shook his head. "Not just survived. We showed them. Humans are not weak. Humans are never weak." Around the colony, survivors began to emerge from hiding. Families reunited. Tears fell freely. The older humans helped the younger volunteers, and together they rebuilt a sense of hope. The retirees, who had been written off by the galaxy, were now the heroes of Haven-7. In the distance, the alien escape pods disappeared into the void of space. They carried messages of warning. "Do not underestimate humans again." Kale looked up at the stars. "They will return," he said. Delara placed a hand on his shoulder. "Let them. We are ready." The sun rose slowly over Haven-7. Smoke still drifted across the sky, but light touched the ruins. A new day had begun. The retirees, once considered weak and irrelevant, stood together, scarred, tired, but unbroken. They had faced annihilation and emerged victorious. The galaxy had underestimated them. The humans of Haven-7 had shown the cost of that mistake. Kale raised his hand to the sky. "We are human," he said loudly, so everyone could hear. "And we are not afraid." And somewhere in the endless expanse of space, the message spread. Word of Haven-7 stand traveled faster than any fleet. The legend of the retirees, ordinary humans who defied impossible odds, began to grow. They had fought back. They had survived. And the galaxy would never forget the day the humans of Haven-7 rose from their retirement to show the true cost of underestimating humanity. The final light of the alien warship faded behind the mountains. Smoke, ash, and ruin remained. But so did something else. A spark that will remind every corner of the galaxy that humans, no matter age, weakness, or expectation, could rise when forced. The story of Haven-7 ended that day, but a legend had begun. Humans would never be dismissed again. And the retirees? They returned to their lives, their sunsets, their plants, forever changed, forever remembered as the guardians of their world. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and support us. It really helps us grow and bring more videos like this. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.